We live in an age where music styles are becoming much more blended and blurred. Artists like Juice WRLD, Trippie Redd, The Late Lil Peep, and so on are often referenced as rappers, while they tend to make much more melodic and vocal melodies.
To America, the type of shit is typical. Isn't life beautiful? I think that life.
Rap is not what it used to be, as it started with artists and bands such as Sugar Hill Gang and Fatback Band in the 70s, to modern day artists like Lil Baby and Ski Mask Slump God. The same can arguably be said for metal bands such as Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin in the 70s, as well to modern bands such as Deafheaven and Tune Mode. Modern music classifications are not so black and white, as the more popular rap became less boom bap and more trap and auto-tune, while metal genres became less thrash and death metal and became more metalcore and deathcore. And believe it or not, they're not as different other than their sound, metal and hip hop. Rap purists hate the modern mumble rap because you can't understand it, and wish rap can go back to the 90s era of storytelling and lyricism. Metal purists claim that modern metalcore and deathcore bands have nothing on the bands, such as Slayer and Iron Maiden, when metal was in its prime of thrash and death metal sounds. There's also nu metal, a derivation of groove metal, where metal borrowed elements of rap. Public Enemies and Anthrax collab on Bring the Noise is the most popular version of this. Then there's Limp Bizkit, Korn, Rage Against the Machines, and the popular ones such as Linkin Park and Slipknot. The earliest attempts at blurring the lines between hip-hop culture and metal culture. There are many that loved it, just like there are many that hated it. There's also rapcore, which is more or less nu metal with more emphasis on rap. But then, there's trap metal.
Fuck what you heard, I done came up from the dirt. The only reason I be standing, cause I put the fucking work in. Reverse, fuck that, bitch, you fucking tracks like who the fuck you talking.
Where do I even begin? For clarity again, when I mention trap metal, I'm mainly speaking about the sound where someone uses a scream or shouts over a very dark and distorted or heavy trap beat. But there are also more ways of fitting into this category, whether you mainly rap or harmonize, or you mainly use shrieks, growls, or fries, or even sing and use autotune. I'm using the term trap metal because the genres I'm categorizing it under are sounds like ragecore, scream rap, emo rap, dark trap, shadow rap, death rap, alternative trap, industrial trap, etc. Not to be confused with nu metal. Nu metal and rapcore is more or less rapping over a guitar riff like Rage Against the Machines. While trap metal may have a guitar distortion present, it is more often rapped over a spooky and or intense trap beat with metal influences, like Slim. Many artists in the trap metal scene often hate the term trap metal, as they don't like the negative notation or limiting classification it gets. So being artists based on being different and being experimental, finding it insulting or cringy is at the least a little understandable, though it is the only term that seems to fit the classification as a whole. Like nu metal and rapcore, it borrows elements of both. But that's just the thing. Where can it fit? Is it more rap? Is it more metal? It isn't completely metal. It isn't completely rap. It isn't even as easily identified as nu metal or rapcore was. And what is it? Can trap metal have a home or be part of either the rap or metal community? I feel it's important for a genre to stay if it has a classification and staple in the community. Is trap metal part of the rap or hip hop culture? Let's start with that. Obviously, rap is present, or at least at the very, very least, influencing trap metal. More artists in the trap metal community that are much closer to rap are artists such as Zodiac, Egovert, and Rap. Most of their work includes trap similar to the mainstream sound, though that is not to say they haven't done songs that are very metal as well. Zodiac's Insidious Freestyle, or Wrath's Rez ain't even a producer, but this slaps, long ass name I know, as well as much more. But what about the rest of the trap metal community? What makes it rap or trap? Well, first, what is rap? Basically, rap is a vocal technique that involves rhythmically speaking or rhyming lyrics over a beat. That is that's the basic definition. Rap as a whole is much more than just that. It's much more than just that. Many will argue that in the hip hop community. It's argued rap is supposed to have significance and meaning and storytelling, while modern trap may not be so easily defined lyrically. Rap purists have a hard time accepting trap music, so it's evident that trap metal would get even more hate. Rap purists claim that it isn't rap, or at the very least not good rap at all, and definitely not hip-hop. The screaming, the lyrics, and the beat have no trademarks to traditional rap music. The closest sound to trap metal in rap history was the late 90s and early 2000s Southern crunk wave with East Side Boys, 3 6 Mafia, and Lil Jon. This was the only subgenre of rap that can come close to at least trap metal's vocal sound, where the vocals are shouted over a very hardcore beat and heavy bass.
Let's go! What the shit that you going on east side? Or what that click that you represent west side? Or what that shit that you going on north side? Or what that click that you represent south side?
Though this was more club hype, and it is not in relation to metal, it is much closer to house music and Miami Bounce. It was much less on lyrics and more on getting the crowd hype, similar to metal mosh pits. Lil Jon and Flavor Flav do share similarities in their style as well, with Flavor Flav being a nu metal rapper, but other than that, there's not much similarities. As far as culture, they're almost polar opposites. Crunk is probably responsible for the forming of trap music with Soulja Boy's Crank That in 2007, which evolved to the popularization of trap music, spearheaded by artists like Gucci Mane and so forth. Yeah, I know trap existed long before then, but still. It is still relevant in today's music, and even trap metal, which obviously is where it got its name trap and trap metal from. It is definitely where the vocal aggression of trap music at least subliminally got its idea from. Though, does this mean trap metal fits into rap? I'm not entirely sure, since distortion, other than, again, the nu metal or rapcore, for the longest was extremely unorthodox to be in rap music. Instruments had to be cleaner, and it was taboo to have your rap beat sound too intense. You couldn't hear rap vocals if the beat was too loud. Next, let's move on to if trap metal can be a subgenre of metal. Can metal have a home for trap metal? Metal has its many, and I mean many subgenres, ranging from everything from thrash to hair metal to glam to grindcore to Norwegian black metal and so on. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So many styles and types of subgenres or categories for fans of the music. Trap metal can surely have a home under all this, right? As far as aesthetic, trap metal definitely fits into the subcultures that embody the metal crowd, like gothic and emo cultures. Both are very dark and grim. Trap metal often taking influence from these metal covers and artist attire, as well as samples and vocals of the black metal and death metal genres. They often reference satanic or occultic themes, gruesome violence, mental health, and angst. Musically, artists like Hanja, Depth Strider, and Leprosy fit into the metal side of the trap metal category well. They could easily branch off into metal bands with their impressive vocals if they wanted, and probably have, or at least will dabble in doing more metal songs than trap metal, I'm sure. They make trap-influenced songs with screams and distorted guitar riffs on a mostly electronic sounding, heavy, dark beat. Hanja XX121 and Depth Strider's Strider Walk are very metal-esque. Though metal purists may argue that screaming alone doesn't make it metal, nor does having a distorted guitar present. As stated multiple times, rapcore and nu metal were the closest thing merging rap and metal that lasted. Even then, metal purists hated it, having a hard time calling it metal in any sense, though it did have a pretty big following through its ups and downs in popularity. The riffs weren't as complex or impressive as the metal kings of Slayer and Megadeth, and were catered to fit more repetitive vocals of rapping than screaming or singing. Slipknot and Papa Roach infused intensity of rap and metal together well, creating the most aggressive form of rap metal. Of course, until trap metal came on the scene with Scar-Lord, XXXTentacion, Project, and so much.
Talking that shit into leather, you fall, put your face in the ground. How's the choice? Face blade, I'm in a face blade. All in my place, wait, face blade, I'm in a face.
So, is trap metal or rap? It's definitely rap. The way the vocals are rhythmically chanted, screamed, or harmonized over the dark beat. However, it is also very metal. The types of screams and singing techniques, the distorted guitar and bass, the very aesthetic, the instruments used, it's both, and it all depends on the artist. Deco Pharaoh leans more onto the rap side. Ghost of Blue leans more over into the metal side. Artists like Project 7 and Subjects are smack dab in the middle. It's all on the interpretation as a whole. However, I feel the sound is too early and too unpopularized at the moment to generally diagnose the sound as either rap, metal, or something entirely different. As the sound progresses or becomes more mainstream, then it can generally be identified. But what do you think? Let me know below. More videos will obviously be made on the topic in the future. As for now, only time will tell. Preferably, I'd love to sit with a metalhead and raphead and have them both listen to various artists and discuss which one they think it fits in. But that's for later videos. But again, let me know what you think. Yeah, that's just my thing. If you whatever you feel, but just don't argue, please.